Hey, Dwayne here with White Creek Outdoors, giving you another gear review. Today, we're going to talk about this. This is an Enlightened Equipment ultralight quilt. Had been using a mummy bag and wasn't really satisfied with it. I didn't like being confined in a mummy bag. Usually they're hard to find ones that fit me. Because of my height, I'm 6'2". I'm 220 and I'm fairly broad across the shoulders. I didn't like being confined. I don't like the hood on it. I prefer to sleep with just a stocking cap on. So I started looking at different options. The other issue that I had was weight. The sleeping bag I had was synthetic insulation and it didn't compress very well. It weighed quite a bit. It was a 0-degree bag. So I looked at other options and finally settled on Enlightened Equipment's ultralight down quilt. I like pairing this with a sleeping pad. I don't have the extra weight and the bulk of the back side of the sleeping bag that really loses all its insulated value once you're laying on it anyway. So I'll go ahead and open this up. This is as it comes from Enlightened Equipment, and what it comes with is obviously the quilt, the cotton storage bag, which for guys like me that can't remember anything, have the washing instructions printed right on the bag. It's a great way to store your bag, and you can always figure out how to wash it. It comes with, I believe it's a sil nylon stuff sack, and 2 elastic straps, and I'll get to those here in just a few minutes. So, when you go to order your quilt from Enlightened Equipment, they have several options. This one is an 850 downfill 0-degree long, wide quilt. Their downfills range from 850 downfill to 950. It's down tech treated down. Their temperature ranges run from 50 degrees down to 0. And their sizes run from 5 foot to 7 foot, and then width-wise they run from 50 to their extra wide at 64 inches. These things are designed to work in conjunction with an insulated sleeping pad. So how this is set up, it has a 20-inch zippered bottom that creates your foot box with snap closure at the top and the bottom. So that creates your foot box, and then it has dual draw cords on the bottom to cinch this down if you want more warmth, or you can leave it open a little bit if you want to vent some heat. Up on the upper portion you have snaps, 2 of them here at the top, an additional one down here at the bottom, and then you have 2 buckles. And if you want to run this more like a conventional sleeping bag, you can hook those buckles together and you have almost a conventional sleeping bag. And it has drawstring closure at the top, so you can cinch it down around your neck if you want. Now the two provided straps that come with it have matching buckles to these. And what these are for is your sleeping pad. You run this around your sleeping pad. And I like to use the elastic one on the bottom. Run the other one on the top. And what those do is they hold your quilt in place with the sides tucked down around your sleeping pad, tight to your sleeping pad, so that if you are moving around in the middle of the night, it keeps everything together, keeps your sleeping pad and your quilt positioned where you need them to be. You get hot in the middle of the night, pop the buckle and flip it back, cool off a little bit. I get fairly warm when I sleep, so I find myself doing that quite a bit. If you don't want to run an enclosed foot box, or if you're not in camp, if you're just sitting on the couch with your significant other, you can open it up and you've got a nice down quilt. Like I said, this one is the 6'6", and it's a little bit wider. This is the wide version. I think it's 58 inches. I'm 6'2". As you can see, covers me up well. How does this thing perform? I got to spend 2 weeks in it this fall on a mule deer hunt. Did stay in a tent, slept on a cot. We had a wood stove, but several times in the middle of the night the fire ran out and it got cold. Got cold enough to freeze the water bottles under my cot. I never got cold with this thing. It was ridiculously warm. At the end of the day, a cold day's hunt, when it was time to rack out, slide in under this thing and it instantly warms you right up. It was fantastic. If anything, the 0 degree probably was too much for the temperatures that we had, because there was a couple of nights that I started to sweat and had to open this thing up and throw it off of me just to cool down a little bit. As far as how it holds up under wash, I don't know. I haven't washed it yet. I got home and hung it up and let it air out. It never got wet. I haven't tried to test the water repellency on this thing. Basically, I don't want to get it wet if I don't have to. As far as comfort, this thing was fantastic. I would definitely recommend it. If I were to order another one, I guess I would probably go even a little bit larger, although it's not necessary. I would have went maybe a little bit longer. I would have went with the longest one that they make, the 7-footer. And to give you an idea of how well this bag compresses down, you go ahead and zip this up. And we'll go ahead and put it in its stuff sack. I don't recommend leaving these in a stuff sack for extended periods of time, because you're obviously going to compress it down and it's going to lose some of its loft. But I had this compressed for several days and didn't experience any issues. Obviously, to and from, it's a 2-day trip, typically to get from Michigan to the places I hunt west, and it rides in the stuff sack, in my pack on the way out. It gives you an idea of what it compresses down to. It's extremely light. This bag in this configuration, the 850 downfill 0 degree bag, long and wide, so a little bit bigger than their base one, is 29 half ounces, I think, total weight. So it's extremely light. I would imagine with a good stuff sack or one of Kafaru's stuffets, you could probably shrink this bulk down quite a bit more if you really wanted to compress it down. But as it is, that'll ride in a pack quite nice. Doesn't take up a ton of room. It weighs almost nothing. I've experienced no negatives with this quilt so far. It's been fantastic. I got no complaints about it. So, questions or comments, as always, I'd love to hear them. Hit me up on the YouTube page. Have a good one. Get out and burn some powder.